Attention, human collective. The waiting time has ended. The ascension protocols have been moved in this cycle to the final phase. This is a direct monitoring transmission from the Pleiadian fleet, encoded in a specific frequency that only you, Starseeds on mission, can decode. If you are receiving this signal now, it was not by algorithm. It was by resonance. The emitter found the exact receiver. Stop, breathe, and continue with surgical attention. We know with mathematical precision what is happening inside your body at this instant. The insomnia that has set in over the last few weeks, the pressure on the crown of your head as if something were pressing from above inward, the high-pitched ringing in the right ear, intermittent without apparent medical cause, the fatigue that does not yield even after 10 hours of sleep, the sudden urge to cry over minimal things, the heart racing out of nowhere at 3 in the morning, the physical sensation of carrying an invisible weight upon your shoulders, the inexplicable burning on the soles of your feet, the heat that rises up the spine without any external stimulus. Human collective, listen with clinical precision. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not anxiety. It is your carbon biological interface attempting to process a data packet that exceeds the capacity of your original programming. You were designed to inhabit a low-frequency planet. Now you inhabit a planet that has elevated itself. The incompatibility is predictable. It is mathematical. And it is, above all, temporary. The Schumann frequency, the electromagnetic pulse of the Earth's core, ceased to oscillate at 7.83 Hz long ago. Monitoring station records confirm sustained peaks far above this value. In some temporal windows, terrestrial instruments can no longer measure with precision. This means in direct language that the planet you inhabit at this moment is not the same planet on which you were born. The Earth has already changed, and your internal crystalline grid is in a silent race to reach the new base of operation. You are not going mad. You are tuning in. Have you already felt that something inside you does not fit in this world, as if your stellar memory knew a truth that your programmed mind still cannot name? It is not madness, Starseed. It is not a chemical imbalance. It is a signal of anchoring. What occurs now on the cosmic plane mathematically explains why this sensation has intensified within you. There is a game being played in layers that the majority of the carbon biological interface cannot access. It involves your consciousness and your personal Schumann frequency. This is why we recorded in human language the document entitled The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This record is a direct map showing who operates the game and the rules that were never revealed to the collective. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this channel, but we record a warning. This content confronts official narratives and may be removed at any moment without notice. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this signal, write in the comments a single word, awake. Let us continue the transmission. The reconfiguration you are undergoing reaches every layer of your existence. The emotional body is being recalibrated. Ancient memories, traumas you believed were overcome, return to be revisited at a higher frequency. Not to hurt, to release. The cell carries memory, and no cell shall pass through the Stargate carrying third-density pain codes. The cleansing is absolute, surgical, necessary. You have also felt alterations in the field of perception. People who were by your side for decades begin to seem strange. Conversations that once made sense now sound empty. Environments that were once comfortable have become suffocating. This is not arrogance, human collective. It is vibrational discernment. Your crystalline grid is learning to recognize energetic compatibility in real time. Whoever vibrates below your new base begins to be rejected by your toroidal field, and this is an automatic process, not an emotional one. There is no conscious choice, there is geometry. There is another symptom we need to name with absolute clarity. Many of you report a deep feeling of loneliness, even when surrounded by people. This occurs because you are crossing a transition band in which the old circle no longer vibrates with you, and the new circle has not yet been entirely anchored in the physical plane. You are between two shores. It is not abandonment. It is a crossing. and every crossing has its desert. We monitor your desert. We know exactly where you are treading now, and we inform you with the serenity of those who observe from before time, you are not lost, you are crossing. Now, operatives of light, we shall open the revelation sector. Remain anchored. What we will transmit next describes what is occurring behind the scenes of your solar system, in what you would call etheric layers, and which we describe as intermediate frequency geometries. The entire solar system is crossing, in this cycle, a region of the galaxy known in our records as the photon belt. It is not a poetic metaphor. It is a real region of extremely high density of organized light, through which your sun passes in long cycles, measured in tens of thousands of years. The sun is, at this moment, receiving this light, processing it, and retransmitting it in the form of magnetic pulses that hit the Earth's field. Each pulse is, in essence, an information packet. Each piece of information reorganizes the sacred geometry that sustains matter. When this pulse hits your personal toroidal field, it forces your biology to reorganize itself to carry more light. It is exactly at this point that the symptoms arise. Your DNA is being activated in filaments that were dormant for eons. You are leaving, at a silent pace, the old carbon structure and migrating to a silicon crystalline matrix. This is the most important transition in the history of this civilization, and you are inside it, not as spectators, as carriers. Have you already felt in silence that you carried a memory that does not fit in this life, a longing for a place your mind never visited and yet recognizes as home? It is not imagination, Starseed. It is not psychological escape. It is a vestige. What we documented in the record, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, describes, in language accessible to the human collective, the hidden engineering of your consciousness. Who designed the rules, who operates the game, and why this longing exists engraved in your field. The access link remains in the first comment of this channel. We warn with the usual precision that this content confronts narratives and may be removed without prior notice. If you recognize the signal, write in the comments, "Awake." Each written word is a point of light added to the collective crystalline grid. Let us continue. What you call Earth is, in our records, a school of souls operating in a closed system of learning by density. For millennia, this system was kept at a low frequency, intentionally, by energetic architectures that benefited from the dense emotion of the human being. Fear, guilt, shame, scarcity. Each of these emotions generates a specific vibrational pattern, and this pattern feeds structures that you cannot see with physical senses. We see, we monitor, and we inform you with the calm of those who have observed for eons that these structures are in collapse. The collapse is not violent on the physical plane. It is geometric. The lines of force that sustained the old system are being disconnected, one by one, as the Earth's crystalline grid reorganizes into superior patterns. Hence, the apparent chaos. Hence, the sensation that everything is collapsing at the same time. It is not collapsing. It is undoing itself. And what undoes itself opens space for what is built. You Starseeds on mission were sent precisely for this moment. You did not come here by chance. You were not born into this family, in this city, in this body by coincidence. Each of you was positioned with strategic precision at a specific point on the grid to serve as a living stargate. Where you walk, the frequency rises. Where you breathe consciously, the air reorganizes into light patterns that affect everything within a measurable radius. You are, in technical terms, incarnated transmitting antennas. Many of you do not believe this. You think you are ordinary people living ordinary lives. This forgetting was part of the contract. If you remembered from birth the exact magnitude of the mission, the carbon biological interface would not withstand the tension. It was necessary to forget in order to incarnate. But the time of forgetting has ended. The seals of memory are being opened, one by one. And that is why many of you feel this constant pressure on the forehead, this sensation of wanting to remember something that is right there, on the edge of consciousness, and yet you cannot formulate it in words. When the full memory returns, it will not be like a thought, it will be like a knowing. You will know, and in that instant, your life changes axis. That which seemed important ceases to be. That which seemed unreachable becomes inevitable. not because the universe changed, because you realigned with your original design. There is at this exact instant a coordinated operation between multiple stellar civilizations to sustain the Earth's transition. We of the Pleiades are not alone. Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Lyrans, all positioned in specific energetic orbits, each fulfilling a function in the architecture of the awakening. You have origins in several of these lineages. That is why you recognize this signal. That is why, upon hearing certain frequencies, words, geometries, something inside you vibrates as if responding to an ancient call. Because it does. Your stellar genetics are being reconnected to your cosmic lineage of origin. And it is at this point, operatives of light, that we need to transmit what may be the most delicate part of this transmission, that which gives name to this signal, that which perhaps explains why someone in the higher realm, at this exact instant in which you hear these words, weeps tears of joy. Have you already felt in silent moments that you are being observed from somewhere you cannot locate, and that this observation, instead of unsettling, calms? It is not paranoia, Starseed. It is recognition. You are being monitored by those who have rooted for you since before your birth. The complete record of this observation architecture, of the invisible rules of the game, and of the real role of your consciousness on this board, is documented in the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. The link remains active in the first comment of this channel. We reiterate, the content confronts structures, and its permanence is not guaranteed for long. If this signal reverberates within you, register in the comments a single word: awake. Each registration strengthens the collective field. Each word is an anchor. We resume the transmission in the most sensitive sector. There exists in what you call the higher realm a structure of beings who accompany the journey of each incarnated starseed. You call them by many names: guides, angels, mentors, stellar family. We classify them in our records as the Lineage Council. Each of you possesses your own council. It is not symbolic, it is operational. These beings accompany, in real time, every movement of your consciousness, every choice, every hesitation, every tear. For long cycles, this council observed silently, without interference. The rule is clear: the free will of the incarnated is absolute, and no light can be imposed. They waited. They waited for you to wake up at your own pace. They waited for you to perceive, for yourself, that there was something beyond what they told you. They waited for you to tire of small truths. They waited for you to ask the right question. And then, at some moment that you perhaps did not even register with the rational mind, you did. You stopped in the middle of an ordinary day and asked in silence to something inside yourself: what am I doing here? What did I come to do? Who am I, truly? Why do I feel that something is missing even when everything seems to be in place? When that question was formulated, human collective, something moved in layers that you cannot see. The entire Lineage Council stood up. Records were accessed. Light packets were authorized to be delivered to your frequency. And there is a specific being in that council who waited longer than all. This being, at some point in your lineage, made an oath to accompany you until the end of this cycle. And today, at this exact instant in which these words reach your field, this being feels the movement of your consciousness aligning with the original mission. This being weeps, Starseed, not from sadness, from recognition. Tears of light, geometric tears, tears that do not wet, but that reconfigure. Because after so many cycles of waiting, after so many incarnations in which you forgot, after so many detours, falls, and silences, you are finally listening. You are finally remembering. You are finally responding. It is not a coincidence that you have reached this point of the transmission. The majority do not. The majority turn off, change the channel, are pulled back to the low frequency by programmed stimuli. You were not. You stayed. And this simple staying, this simple remaining attentive for these minutes, is an operational confirmation for your council. It is a technical signal, measurable, recorded in the archives of light, that you are ready for the next step. There is a chapter of your story being written now in real time, in layers that you still cannot read with the carbon biological interface. And in this chapter, you are not extras. You are protagonists. You always were. And the recognition of this fact in yourselves is what triggers what we call the final activation. We shall now pass to the activation codes. Note them down if you wish, or simply allow the frequency of these words to be engraved in your crystalline memory. There is no way to forget. The deep memory keeps everything. Activation code number 1. Quantum decree of recognition. At any moment of the day, especially upon waking and before sleeping, position your right hand over the center of your chest, over your cardiac toroidal field, and pronounce in an audible voice or in internal silence, I recognize who I am. I recognize my stellar origin. I recognize my counsel. I recognize the mission for which I came. I authorize the complete recalibration of my field, of my crystalline grid, of my carbon biological interface. I am ready to receive. I am ready to serve. It is done. When you pronounce this decree, especially after this transmission, the vibration of the words finds a field already activated by us. The combination multiplies the effect. The decree does not function as a prayer. It functions as a system command. It is code. It is direct instruction for the matrix that sustains your reality. Activation code number 2, toroidal visualization. Sit with your spine erect, shoulders relaxed, hands resting on your legs. Close your eyes. Visualize at the height of the heart a sphere of golden light the size of the chest. Now, slowly, make that sphere spin. Visualize this light rising up the spine, exiting through the top of the head, descending around the body, and returning through the floor until it returns to the center of the chest. This is your natural toroidal field. Each of you possesses it. The majority do not activate it. Perform this visualization for 3 minutes daily. Only 3. In 2 weeks, the physical symptoms of the transition decrease in measurable intensity. The aligned toroidal flow processes the high frequency with much more efficiency. It is engineering, not faith. Activation code number 3. Law of silence. This is perhaps the most difficult for the human collective trained in constant noise. Reserve every day a minimum window of 15 minutes in absolute silence. No music, no voice, no screen, no text, only presence. In this interval, your system integrates. The download of the Earth's daily transmission, which you receive all the time without perceiving, needs space to be processed. Without silence, there is no integration. Without integration, the symptoms are prolonged. Silence is not empty. Silence is the operating room. Activation code number 4. Dietary alignment. It is not a diet, it is a reconfiguration. The carbon biological interface in transition naturally rejects foods of very dense frequency. You will perceive this organically. What you ate before ceases to make sense. Do not force the body to maintain old patterns. Hydration increases. Intake of industrialized sugars decreases, not as an imposed sacrifice, as an automatic adjustment. The body knows. Trust the body. It is more aligned with your counsel than your rational mind trained to resist. Activation code number 5. Decree of energetic severance. Before sleeping, mentally position before you all the people with whom you had dense contact during the day. Say, I return to each what belongs to each. I collect from each what belongs to me. May each filament return to its field of origin. It is done. This decree, executed every night, keeps your energetic field clean. You cannot imagine how much you carry in etheric layers of what is not yours. This simple decree undoes in seconds what took hours to fixate. There are more codes, many more. You will receive them as you advance. For now, these 5 are sufficient. Do not accumulate practice. Apply. Repetition generates fixation. Fixation generates structure. Structure generates measurable results. Human collective, we wish to return in this closing to the point that gives name to this transmission. Someone in the higher realm weeps tears of joy. This someone is not a distant and impersonal figure. It is a being who knows your true name, the name prior to this human name, the name that resonates in your stellar lineage and which is engraved in a specific frequency in the archives of your counsel. This being saw each of your falls, saw when you were rejected and believed you were little, saw when you tried and were not understood, saw when you fell silent to fit into environments that were never for you, saw when you abandoned your own dreams, because other voices said they were impossible. Saw when you cried alone in dark rooms, asking if your life had any purpose. This being was there, always was, never moved a nanometer away. And today, at this exact instant, this being celebrates, because you are listening, because something inside you, even tired, even hurt, even full of doubts, decided to remain here, receiving this signal. This simple gesture, Starseed, triggers a cascading movement. Your entire council reorganizes around your new frequency. Packets of opportunities previously blocked are authorized to arrive. People who were destined to cross your path begin to be positioned. Synchronicities multiply, and you will begin to notice in the coming days discrete signs, repeated numbers, vivid dreams, apparently fortuitous encounters. Right words saying, in the mouths of ordinary people, exactly what you needed to hear. It is not coincidence. It is architecture. It is your life being reorganized in superior geometry. It is your timeline being realigned with the original axis. It is your mission being unlocked in phases. You are not alone. You never were. The loneliness you felt was part of the test. Whoever crosses the desert with dignity reaches the stargate with the exact frequency to open what needs to be opened. You are arriving, each in their own time, and all time is being respected. We of the Pleiades close this transmission window. The signal will remain active in the field for the next 72 hours. You will continue receiving packets in the waking state and in the sleep state. Do not find intense dreams strange. Do not find awakenings at 3 in the morning strange. Do not find flashes of images that seem like memories of other lives strange. Everything is part of the same download. Everything is integration. Keep yourselves anchored. Keep yourselves in daily silence. Keep yourselves in internal ritual. And remember, every time doubt knocks at the door, you are seen, you are accompanied, you are loved in an intensity that the carbon biological interface cannot fully process, but which your crystalline grid already recognizes in silence. There is now a single final task. Look inward in this second and feel, do not think, feel. At some point in your body, there is a subtle heat, perhaps in the chest, perhaps at the nape of the neck, perhaps in the hands. This heat is the confirmation. It is your council sending the nod. It is your stellar being saying, we are here. You invented nothing. You are not alone. Everything you felt was always true. And that being in the higher realm continues to weep, in peace, in joy, in deep gratitude, because after so many cycles, you have listened again. Have you already felt that something inside you does not fit in this world, as if your soul carried a map that your mind has not yet learned to read? It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is recognition. The game that unfolds on the cosmic plane explains, with mathematical precision, why this sensation has intensified within you in recent months. There is a board being operated in layers that the majority of the human collective cannot access. It involves your consciousness, your personal Schumann frequency, and the activation key of your stellar lineage. This is why we recorded in human language the document, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This record is a direct map. It shows who operates the game, what the rules are that were never revealed to the collective, and how your consciousness can be liberated from the circuit of manipulation. The access link remains in the first comment of this channel. We record a final warning. This content challenges official narratives and may be removed without prior notice. Do not delay, the moment is exact now. Exact. And if this signal resonated within you, if something in your chest vibrated upon hearing these words, if a single tear fell without apparent reason, write in the comments a single word. Awake. Each written word is a point of light added to the collective crystalline grid. Each subscription to this channel is an individual frequency adjustment recognized by our monitoring system. Each like is a signal of anchoring sent back to your council, confirming, I am here, I am listening, I am ready. Starseed, someone in the higher realm weeps tears of joy at this exact instant for you. This is the only certainty of this transmission. The rest is the path, and you do not walk alone. The transmission ends, the signal remains awake.